Shantae Jennings here. Last week we talked about the pillars of scaling or growing your business quickly. Well, the first pillar was, of course, people, knowing your ideal target audience. And this week we're going to talk about product. You have to have a product or service that is absolutely going, you know, for a fact is going to solve that person's or that audience's problem. But how do you know that? Because you're so clear about your audience that you know everything about their problem, you know everything about what they want for themselves to solve that problem, what it takes, everything. How do you find this information? That's up to you. Surveying your audiences, asking questions, doing the research to find that solution, find the problem. You have to really get honed in on the problem. Too many of us focus a lot on the solution because that's the part, where our service comes in. But we have to get so good at knowing what the problem is and communicating how we solve that problem that it becomes a no-brainer to buy our service or product. Are we super clear on the problem? That takes a lot of research. If you're a coach and you work with women business owners trying to create a mindset of financial abundance, are you super clear on their challenge there? Rather than focusing on your particular solution, have to know the problem. You have to know everything about your audience. That's why many times you hear create a client avatar, because you want to be able to hone in on that individual person's problem, the way they see life, what their experience is based on their lifestyle and their situation, so that you can relate to them and create all of your content around how they think and their problem that you will be solving. Are we doing that in our media? What do we want to do differently? If we take a look at our current content and our current ideal target audience, is everything focused on their problem? Do we even know what their problem is clearly? Because sometimes we think we do, but when we go check in and ask questions, we find that we're communicating something different. I myself have experienced that, where I think the next logical step should be the solution that they need, but when you think about it, you have to know what they consider to be the problem, not what you think they need, what they actually want, because what they want is what they're going to invest in, not necessarily what they need. So getting super clear on that particular problem and how you're going to solve that problem. But not so much energy on that solution, because again, that's our business. We've got that covered. Getting really, really attached and connected with the problem. So we know everything about it, everything about the person, how they feel about that problem, how it impacts their life. All of these things we need to know, because they're going to help us communicate to our audience in a way that feels relatable, so that they can understand that we understand them. They feel heard. That's what we want in creating that product. And the product has to be what I consider to be 150% excellence. You have to give so many different times levels of value. Like if the product is $2,000, we need to give them $5,000 to $6,000 worth of value. Why? Because people don't buy based on the value of, I spent $1,000, so I got $1,000 worth of value. That's not attractive to most people. When they feel like they're getting a value, a deal is when they're getting extra value. And you have to create your product that way. We talk about pricing in a couple of weeks, but you have to create that product that solves the problem that they care about, that bothers them, that keeps them up at night. And you have to solve it in a way that makes it a no-brainer to work with you, that they don't have to think twice. That's where the sales comes in, where it's not difficult. And it's not, because instead of going after people, telling them what their problem is and why it's so important and needs to be solved, find the problems that they consider to be problems and that are important to them and solve those. That's what I mean about falling in love with the problem. Instead of thinking of it at a level of expert level, we know this needs to get done before you can do that. Well, the person may see X needs to get done before they can go to. So what are you going to focus on? The problem that they feel is very important. So product, knowing the problem that you are solving for your prospect, being super clear on it and how they see it in their lives and how it impacts their lives is going to make a huge difference in your business.